Well, good morning, everybody. This is Rabbit rebounding on the trail. Back in the distance behind me, you can see Mount San Jacinto, my old friend I left behind a few days ago. I'm just fresh back on the trail on Monday morning, the 22nd day of my trip, the first day of the third week. And I gotta admit, several of those days, like about 8 of them, have been zeros. Now, I know a lot of thru-hiker purists are gonna try to tell you that it's not a thru hike if you're taking that many zeros. But I Googled it this morning, looked it up on the official rule book for thru hikes, which every experienced thru hiker knows exists. And in fact, you can take all the zeros you want to take. There is no rule and there is no rule book. This is my hike. This is our hike. Welcome along. Okay, the time is about 6:41. I started hiking at 6:05 this morning after driving up from lovely Tustin, California, where I got to spend a few days with my wife, my son, his wife, and my new grandbaby, the cutest little thing you ever did see. But it's time to get back to work. Here I am. I wanted to give you some video nice and early today when the sun's coming up, and so we're gonna do that. My plan for the day is to knock out about 20 miles. I'm headed toward Big Bear north of I-10, a point in the trip that I'll admit I never quite thought I'd get to, but here I am. And feeling good, feeling strong, and my feet are in good condition right now. Now I want to put a little caveat on that because I'm sporting right now a brand new pair of replacement Atra Lone Peak 3.5 shoes. The last pair gave me a lot of trouble. I went to REI and spoke with her shoe expert, and she measured both of my feet and told me that my left foot is narrower and quite a bit longer than my right foot, which is a surprise to me. I asked her, I said, well, doesn't that make you walk in circles? Because I'm 62 years old and I've never noticed any problem because of the different size of my feet. Well, at any rate, we swapped out those shoes for a brand new pair. So here's to hoping that that new pair doesn't give me any trouble today, or that there's no real break-in. I'm not expecting that there will be. The other little thing that to start this leg of my trip off extra good is I realized not long after I started hiking that I forgot the gas from my cook stove, which I'm carrying again. So I guess it'll be cold soaked food tonight, but hey, I've had worse and I probably will again. So I'm gonna turn this around a minute, let you guys enjoy the trail as I try to make a few miles, get down the road. All right, let's enjoy some scenery. Okay there, team. I thought I'd take a little break here. We've been hiking just about exactly 2 hours, and I'm still trying to keep to my promise to myself to take hikes occasionally, or take rest rather occasionally. You may or may not be able to see behind me here. We're up a little slot canyon kinda. In the distance there is the Mesa Wind Farm, which I just hiked up and around. And way back in the distance is my former nemesis and now BFF, Mount San Jacinto. I think we're about to lose sight of it because this canyon's boxed in. I'll turn around in a minute and show you the other side. And it looks like we got to go straight up and out of this thing. So I've been ascending pretty gently all morning. I think that ascent's about to get a little bit more rigorous. My shoes, they haven't been giving me any trouble at all. They've been doing just fine. I feel good there. I'm working on drinking constantly and drinking before I get thirsty so I don't get thirsty. Why create the pain for yourself? Pack's a little heavier with some extra water and haven't put my gear back in there except for my gas canister. So everything's going good, no big surprises. I just went through the area where several weeks ago there was a report of 3 feral pit bulls out here killing cattle and the like, and there was some concern that as hiker season picked up there may be attacks on hikers. I think they actually have removed 1 or 2 of the dogs. I've been looking for that other one but haven't seen him. At any rate, I'm gonna take a couple of more minutes. I just wanted to get this place because it's still in the morning shade, and I'm afraid that pretty soon shade's gonna be a precious commodity around here. Wind's blowing fairly strong, probably 10-15 miles an hour out of the west most of the morning, and skies are pretty clear. When I came up this morning I was driving through some fog, but not by the time I got down to the trail. So them's the weather conditions there. I'll give you a report as we get on up the hill a bit. Hope you guys are having a good ride. And as promised, there's the trail we got to take. I have to turn the camera upwards because it's pretty steep up there, but that's looks like where the trail's going to take us is out the top of the back of that canyon. Let's get moving. It turns out I was right about that hike up. It was pretty much straight up through the end of that canyon. I came through out into this canyon. As you can see, I got it all by myself. I've been hiking with a few people for a few days, and I really enjoyed it, really enjoyed their company, and I learned a lot from them. But I've enjoyed every bit as much the times that I've had by myself, and just get out here in a place like this where there's just nobody but myself and that trail right down there to go down. That's what we're gonna do. I'd be all by myself if it weren't for all you guys here with me, and I'm glad that you are looking over my shoulder. Let's get on down here and have some more fun. If you can look down here in the picture, you see the trail coming around here, moving up across through the back of there. It's hard to keep up with this, but the trail comes clear out across all the way around the base of that mountain, as you can see. And then if you look up high on the next mountain over, you can see the trail crossing it. So that's quite a few miles of trail here that are visible from this one shot. Pretty amazing. I'm going to try to keep this camera put away now and see if we can make some time on that, because that looks like pretty good tread to me. Well, 10 o'clock. A lot of hikers like to say they like to do 10 by 10. We did 9, and that's just fine. Got a chance to take a lot of photos along the way. Stopped here at the near the Whitewater Preserve. I don't know why they call it Whitewater. Looks pretty gray to me. But we'll be able to get water along this stream for the next few miles if need be. And since you guys got up early, worked so hard, I got a special treat for all of us. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's taking a little bit better care of them than I've been doing. They're holding up good. That water is freezing cold, and I'm just gonna leave my feet in there for a few minutes and sit up here on this little bridge looking thing and dry them out. And then we're gonna get on our way. I'd like to get in another hour or two of hiking, and then we may have to try to find some shade because it's gonna get kind of warm today before we start hitting elevation. So we'll see how it goes.
Me and the boy hanging out.
Say hello. There's some nice pretty little pink flowers there. We're down here alongside what I believe is Mission Creek. It's running right along there in front of us. Behind those bushes I just filled up with water. It runs quite a way up in here, so for the first time in a long time we're going to have plenty of water and not have to carry quite as much because we'll always be able to get it. You can see up at the end there's a canyon up there, and it looks like the end of the canyon. And we all know what happens when we get to the end, or at least what's been happening all day today is we just have to climb that puppy. So we're about 2 hours or so out from camp. Let's head on in, find us a spot, and keep it moving. Since everybody's been good today, and I haven't heard a bunch of whining about, Daddy, when are we going to get to Canada? I just thought I'd give you a little bit more of the trail today. As I said, we're walking along, I believe it's Mission Creek. The trail is following right along creek. You see this creek's this big stony mass out there. And while it doesn't look like there's any water in it, there is in fact quite a bit of water in it. And it's gonna make a great water supply for the next few miles anytime I need any water. There are trails over here off to the side. It's rocky, it's dusty. You can see all the new spring leaves on the trees. That's kind of pretty. It's turning springtime here. At any rate, we are headed up the road here for, I don't know, another 3 or 4 miles. There's a tent up site up there with our name on it. And I get there, you guys can go out and go exploring or something while I set up the tent and get it ready for us tonight. Well, looks like we got a Ford to do today here. I guess that's better than a Chevy. Howdy folks. Hope you had a good hike today. You knocked out almost 20 miles. I'm pretty proud of you. Best of all, you did it without too much whining. As I said a little earlier, we came up this canyon here which has a creek in it. One fork of it runs right beside this campsite, but it's not the wet fork. I've got to go up the road a little bit here and over to my left to get water in the morning on my way out of here. That's the way I'm headed. It was a good hike today. I don't think I injured any body parts. Crossed the streams a lot of times. That's something that's a bit different today compared to other days. We've had this beautiful little stream running right down the middle of this canyon, and the trail goes back and forth across it quite a bit. I mentioned early in the day one of the stupid things I did was leave my my gas canister at home, and so now even though I have my cook stove, I don't have any gas. So I figured it out. I doing what they call a cold soak. I have a meal in here. I've been laying it here in this white sand here with the sun beating down on it, and it's got pretty warm. And to be honest with you, as tired as I am, it's going to be a real good meal, I'm sure of that. Now, I didn't see any snakes today. I had several people report seeing rattlesnakes that passed me along the way, or people I passed. I had one guy saying there's been a report of a lot of cougar tracks up this way, mountain lion tracks. I don't know about that. I've never been afraid of mountain lions. They don't scare me at all. But to be honest with you, when it came down between the tuna and the Mexican rice and beans, I decided tonight would be a good night for Mexican rice and beans, and we'll save that tuna for another night. I did think about cowboy camping tonight. For those of you who aren't hikers, don't know what that is, that's just basically you throw your sleeping pad and your quilt out on the ground and you sleep under the stars. In fact, when I was hiking up the hill today, I hiked right past a guy who was cowboy camping. And there's been a lot of good spots for that along the way here. The temperature's quite warm today, and there's no severe threat of rain. But I opted to go ahead and put up the tent. I can't quite see what's over these canyons here, and if a rain does come in, I just don't want to get wet. Anyway, it's been a great day, making great progress toward Big Bear. For all the people that have subscribed out there, I'm really pleased, and thank you very much. Let's get some food, let's get some rest, and we'll call it a night.